It's day 45. Can you believe it? I am just amazed. We are now a month and a half into our Bible reading plan. So you're doing a great job. We're going to start with Luke 7, just one chapter today for our Bible in the year. And as we continue our talks about biblical thinking, I wanted to share with you a great study. It's called Taking Time to Quiet Your Soul. There's discs. I don't know if there's a download yet, but when I read through this book and did the exercises, there were CDs. So this is written by Jim Burke. He is part of Bob Jones University, but I wanted to tell you how it talks about how we can quiet the noise in our soul. Now, the noise in the physical realm consists of waves, right? But the noise in our soul consists of thoughts. Okay, so your thoughts can be toxic or they can be biblical. So this talks about the sounds of anxiety and fear, lust, greed, guilt, shame, obsessions, addictions, entertainment, recreation. And it also talks about the dangers of the noise in your soul, physically and spiritually. There's a lot of stress-related diseases that can cause cancer. And spiritually, of course, it's going to distract you from your walk with God. And what is the cure for a noisy soul? You need to, it tells you Matthew 11:28 through 30. And let's see, we already read Matthew, but it talks about in there that we have two choices. We have a Godward gaze or a self-dependent focus. That's the essence of unbelief. So what we're supposed to do is come to him and he will quiet our noisy soul. So that is a recommendation that I highly suggest you look for, because it actually will help you with any anxiety, fears, anger, bitterness, whatever negative emotions you're struggling with. Okay. All right. We're going to start with Luke 7. So here we go for our Bible in the Year, chapter 7 of Luke. Now, when he had ended all his sayings in the audience of the people, he entered into Capernaum, and a certain centurion servant who was dear unto him was sick and ready to die. And when he had heard of Jesus, he sent unto him the elders of the Jews, beseeching him that he would come and heal his servant. And when they came to Jesus, they besought him instantly, saying that he was worthy for whom he should do this. For he loved our nation, and he hath built us a synagogue. Then Jesus went with him, and when he was now not far from the house, the centurion sent friends to him, saying unto him, Lord, trouble not thyself, for I am not worthy that thou shouldest enter under my roof. Wherefore neither thought I myself worthy to come unto thee, but say in a word, and my servant shall be healed. For I also am a man set under authority, having under me soldiers, and I say unto one, Go, and he goeth, and to another, Come, and he cometh, and to my servant, Do this, and he doeth it. When Jesus heard these things, he marveled at him, turned him about, and said unto the people that followed him, I say unto you, I have not found so great a faith, no, not in Israel. And they that were sent, returned to the house, found the servant whole that had been made sick. And he came past the day after, and he went into this city called Nain, and many of his disciples went with him, and much people. Now, when he came nigh to the gate of the city, behold, there was a dead man carried out, and only and the only son of his mother, and she was a widow, and much people of the city was with her. And when the Lord saw her, he had compassion on her and said unto her, Weep not. And he came, touched the bier, and they bare him, stood still. And he said, Young man, I say unto thee, arise. And he that was dead sat up and began to speak. And he delivered him to his mother. And there came a fear to all, and they glorified God, saying that a great prophet is risen up among us, that God hath visited his people. And this rumor of him went forth throughout all Judea and throughout all the region round about. And the disciples of John showed him of all these things. And John called upon him two of his disciples, sent them to Jesus, saying, Art thou he that should come, or look for one another? When the men were come unto him, they said, John Baptist has sent unto thee, saying, Art thou he that should come, or look we for another? And in that same hour he cured many of the infirmities and plagues and of the evil spirits, and unto many that were blind he gave sight. Then Jesus answering said unto him, Go your way and tell John what things ye have seen and heard, how that the blind see, the lame walk, the leopards are cleansed, the deaf hear, the dead are praised, to the poor the glory is preached. And blessed is he whosoever shall not be offended in me. And when the messengers of John were departed, he began to speak unto the people concerning John. What went ye out into the wilderness for to see? A reed shaken with the wind? But what went ye out to see? A man clothed in soft raiment? Behold, they which are gorgeously apparelled and live delicately are in king's courts. But what went ye out for to see? A prophet? Yea, I say unto you, and much more than a prophet. This is he of whom it is written, Behold, I send my messenger, behold, before thy face, which shall prepare the way before thee. For I say unto you, among those that are born of women, there is not a greater prophet than John the Baptist, but he that is least in the kingdom of God is greater than he. And all the people that heard him and the publicans justified God, being baptized with the baptism of John. But the Pharisees and the lawyers rejected the counsel of God against themselves, being not baptized of him. And the Lord said, Whereunto then shall I liken the men of this generation? And to what are they like? They are like unto children sitting in the marketplace and calling one to another and saying, We have piped unto you, and ye have not danced. We have mourned to you, and ye have not wept. For John the Baptist came neither eating bread nor drinking wine, and ye say he hath a devil. The Son of Man is come eating and drinking, and ye say, Behold, a gluttonous man and a winebibber, a friend of publicans and sinners. But wisdom is justified of all her children. And one of the Pharisees desired him that he would eat with him. And he went into the Pharisee's house and sat down to meat. And behold, a woman in the city, which was a sinner, when she knew that Jesus sat at meat in the Pharisee's house, brought an alabaster box of ointment and stood at his feet behind him, weeping, and began to wash his feet with tears, and did wipe them with the hairs of her head, and kissed his feet, anointed them with the ointment. Now, when the Pharisee which had bidden him saw it, he spoke with himself, saying, This man, if he were a prophet, would not have known who and what that man or woman this is that touches him, for she is a sinner. And Jesus answering said unto him, Simon, I have somewhat to say unto thee. Saith, Master, say on. There was a certain creditor which had two debtors. One owed 500 pence, and the other 50. And when they had nothing to pay, he frankly forgave them both. Tell me, therefore, which of them will love him most? Simon answered and said, I suppose that he to whom he forgave most. And he said unto him, Thou hast rightly judged. And he turned to the woman and said unto Simon, Seest thou this woman? I enter into thine house. Thou gavest me no water for my feet, but she hath washed my feet with tears and wiped them with the hairs of her head. Thou gavest me no kiss, but this woman, since the time I came in, hath not ceased to kiss my feet. My head with oil thou didst not anoint, but this woman hath anointed my feet with anointment. Wherefore I say unto thee, her sins, which are many, are forgiven, for she loved much, but for whom little is forgiven, the same loveth little. And he said unto her, Thy sins are forgiven. And they that sat at meat with him began to say within themselves, Who is this that forgiveth sins also? And he said to the woman, Thy faith has saved thee. Go in peace. Thank you, friends. I will see you for day 46. We're going to read just one chapter again. We'll see you next time. Thanks for being with me today. Bye-bye.